Before you decide your life is going nowhere, listen closely. One of these stories might show you that you're not lost, you're just looking at the wrong things. Olivia thought she was losing her purpose. Nothing in her life was falling apart, yet everything felt empty. Her days were quiet, predictable, and painfully ordinary. She kept asking herself when life would finally start feeling meaningful. Each morning looked the same. Each evening ended with the same dissatisfaction. She wasn't unhappy, she was unsure. And uncertainty slowly drained her motivation. One afternoon at the mall she met an old classmate. The conversation was simple until it wasn't. The young woman spoke about carrying responsibilities she never planned for. About choosing strength on days when giving up felt easier. About continuing, not because life was fulfilling, but because stopping wasn't an option. Olivia stayed silent. For the first time, she noticed something uncomfortable. Her problem wasn't lack, it was comparison. The stability she resented was someone else's dream. The routine she called meaningless was someone else's safety. That night, Olivia walked home aware of things she had ignored for too long. Her life hadn't lost direction. She had just stopped appreciating it. Purpose didn't suddenly appear. But gratitude did. And with it came a quiet realization. When you stop measuring your life against others, meaning has space to grow. David was never lazy. He showed up to work. He paid his bills. He did what was expected of him. But whenever life asked him to take a step forward, he paused. Opportunities came quietly, conversations, ideas, chances that felt small at first. Each time, David told himself the same thing, not yet. He needed more savings, better timing, clearer signs. He convinced himself he was being responsible, not hesitant. Around him, his friends were choosing differently. Some quit jobs to chase uncertain dreams. Some invested in ideas that scared them. Some failed publicly and started again. David watched it all from the sidelines, shaking his head, telling himself they were reckless. Deep down, though, he wondered what it felt like to try without guarantees. So he waited. Waiting felt safe. It felt mature. It felt like control. But life didn't pause with him. The conversations stopped coming. The invitations slowed. The chances he once overthought were no longer offered. They didn't disappear dramatically, they simply moved on to people who were ready to act. Years passed quietly. David's life didn't fall apart, and that was the problem. Nothing forced him to change. He remained comfortable, stable, and deeply unsatisfied, watching his friends grow into lives that once felt possible for him too. One evening, it finally hit him. It wasn't fear that stopped him. It was the belief that there would always be more time. Moral. Opportunities don't leave loudly. They leave while you're waiting to feel ready. And comfort can cost you more than failure ever will. Everyone admired Gloria for her strength. She was the one people leaned on when things fell apart. Calm in chaos. Reliable in pain. The kind of person who never seemed to break. What no one noticed was how tired she was. Gloria learned early that being needed felt safer than being honest. So she kept giving, her time, her energy, her understanding. When she was overwhelmed, she smiled. When she needed help, she stayed silent. She told herself this was kindness, not self-neglect. People around her grew comfortable. They came to her with problems but rarely asked about her day. They expected her patience, her presence, her support. And because Gloria never complained, they assumed she was fine. Slowly, resentment crept in. She felt invisible in rooms where she was always present. Exhausted by relationships that took more than they gave. Yet she stayed, afraid that setting boundaries would make her selfish or unlovable. One day, she reached a quiet breaking point, not loud, not dramatic. Just a moment where she realized she was disappearing in her own life. So she made a small change. Gloria began saying no without explaining herself. She rested without apologizing. She stopped proving her worth through sacrifice. Some people pulled away. Others felt uncomfortable. But something unexpected happened, she felt lighter. For the first time, Gloria chose herself without guilt. Moral: being strong doesn't mean being available to everyone. Kindness without boundaries becomes self-erasure. Choosing yourself is not abandonment, it's survival. For a long time, Austin believed life was a race. If he didn't reach certain milestones early, he felt like he was already falling behind. Every delay made him anxious. Every slow season felt like failure. While others celebrated achievements, Austin measured himself against their timelines and carried a quiet fear that he was running out of time. So he rushed. He made choices just to feel ahead. He chased goals that looked impressive but left him empty. Even when something worked, the satisfaction never lasted. There was always someone doing more, moving faster, achieving sooner. Eventually, the pressure became exhausting. One evening, Austin realized something simple but heavy. He wasn't behind, he was just forcing a pace that wasn't his. He began to slow down. Instead of comparing, he focused on learning. Instead of rushing results, he paid attention to growth. Progress became quieter, but it finally felt honest. Austin didn't end up ahead of everyone else. He ended up at peace with his own path. Moral: life doesn't move on one timeline. Rushing steals meaning from progress. Peace begins when you stop racing someone else's life. Thanks for watching. If this story touched your heart, like, comment, share and subscribe to this channel for more heartfelt stories.